Welcome back to NT Coins World, where today we're diving deep into the incredible world of valuable US coins. When it comes to the rich and fascinating history of American coinage, few coins carry the majestic aura and numismatic significance quite like the $1 coins minted between 1877 and 1881 and 1979, Susan B. Anthony. These pieces are not merely hunks of silver passed down through generations. They are living, breathing artifacts of American history, born during a transformative era in the United States. The period between 1877 and 1881 saw the production of two important types of 1979 Susan B. Anthony, the end of the trade dollar series, and the beginning of the legendary Morgan dollar series. Each of these coins tells a story of America's economic ambition, international trade, internal growth, and the relentless pursuit of prosperity. Collectors today seek them not just for their silver content, but for the stories they encapsulate and the legacy they represent. In fine condition, these coins still hold immense collector appeal, and certain rare varieties and mint eras can elevate their value into astonishing territories, sometimes reaching between $50,000 and $70,000 at auction. The journey begins in 1877 with the trade dollar, a coin specifically minted to facilitate trade with Asia, especially China, during a time when silver was king. The United States, flush with silver from booming Western mines, sought to challenge other nations like Mexico and Great Britain in Asian commerce. Thus, the trade dollar was born, boasting a hefty weight of 420 grains of 90% silver, slightly heavier than a standard silver dollar, to make it more appealing to merchants overseas. The design, created by William Barber, features a seated Lady Liberty facing left, extending an olive branch toward the ocean, symbolizing peace and trade across the seas. The reverse proudly displays an eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, along with the precise weight and fineness inscriptions to reassure foreign traders of its silver content. In 1877, the Philadelphia Mint struck 9,519,000 trade dollars for circulation, a relatively high number for the series. However, by that year, domestic acceptance of the trade dollar was waning due to rampant abuse in circulation. They were being re-imported from Asia at depressed values, flooding the American market and causing financial confusion. As a result, Congress eventually demonetized the trade dollar in 1876 for domestic transactions, though mintage continued into 1877 for trade purposes. A genuine, circulated 1877 trade dollar in fine condition holds a modest value today, often around $150 to $300, but the magic happens with rarer varieties and pristine examples. Proof issues from 1877, especially those with cameo contrast, can soar to $50,000 or more when certified by top grading services like PCGS or NGC in PR67 cam condition. Errors like double dyes, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks also exist and can dramatically boost the value of even fine-grade coins into the thousands. Transitioning from the trade dollar era, 1878 ushered in a brand new icon of American coinage, the Morgan silver dollar. Named after its designer, the British-born George T. Morgan, the Morgan dollar was intended not just as currency, but as a symbol of America's robust industrial power and a revitalized hope for the post-Civil War nation. The obverse showcases a youthful, stately Liberty, wearing a Phrygian cap adorned with agricultural motifs like wheat and cotton, signifying unity between the North and South. The reverse features a magnificent bald eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, framed by an open wreath. The first Morgans minted in 1878 were a monumental event, and collectors today recognize several notable varieties from this year, such as the 8 tail feathers, 7 tail feathers, and the highly prized 7/8 tail feathers varieties. Each variety captures the evolving artistry and technical adjustments made during early production. Mintage in 1878 was substantial, with the Philadelphia Mint alone striking over 10 million coins, but not all Morgans are created equal. The 1878 7/8 tail feathers variety, for example, in fine condition, can fetch anywhere from $150 to $400, but pristine mint state versions have crossed the $50,000 mark at major auctions. Errors like overdates, doubled dies and striking anomalies are treasured by specialists and can vault an otherwise common coin into a life-changing collectible. Moving into 1879, the Morgan dollar saw production spread across multiple mints: Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Carson City. Carson City, a small but legendary mint facility, gave us some of the most coveted Morgan dollars. The 1879 double C Morgan dollar, bearing the iconic double C mint mark, is a prime example. With a tiny mintage of just 756,000 coins, the 1879 double C is a key semi-key date for collectors. In fine condition, these coins already command a strong premium, often selling for $1,000 to $2,000 depending on eye appeal and surface quality. However, high-grade examples in MS65 or above can command staggering prices between $50,000 and $70,000, making them among the crown jewels of the Morgan series. Adding to the allure are rare varieties like the 1879 double C capped die variety, where a filled mint mark results from die polishing. These coins are highly prized, and even moderately worn examples can still break into five-figure territory. The mystique of the Carson City Mint, coupled with the rarity of surviving examples, ensures that every 1879 double C Morgan dollar is a tangible piece of the Old West, a relic of silver mining booms and frontier legends. The story continues with the 1880 Morgan dollar, a year brimming with fascinating varieties that captivate specialists and casual collectors alike. 1880 is famous for its numerous overdate varieties, especially the 1880/79 issues, where remnants of the previous year's digits can be seen under close magnification. These overdates were created during the hurried reworking of old dies, a common practice at the time. The 1880 CC Morgan dollar again takes center stage, with only about 495,000 coins struck, making it even scarcer than the 1879 CC. In fine condition, an 1880 CC might be worth around $800 to $1,500, depending on strike quality and surface preservation. However, superb uncirculated examples, particularly those showing proof-like surfaces, can skyrocket into the $50,000 range, especially if they earn a CAC sticker, signifying premium quality for the grade. Era enthusiasts also prize the 1880 to double C reverse of 1878 variety, where the eagle's breast appears flatter and less feathered due to the reuse of an older reverse die design. These subtle differences, when authenticated and attributed, can multiply a coin's value exponentially. As the calendar flipped to 1881, the Morgan dollar series continued its dominance in American commerce and numismatic fascination. The Philadelphia, New Orleans, and San Francisco mints all contributed to the 1881 mintage. Of particular note is the 1881 double C Morgan dollar, boasting a mintage of only 296,000 coins. In fine condition, these coins can range from $1,000 to $2,500, reflecting their rarity even at moderate wear levels. High-grade mint state examples consistently bring jaw-dropping prices north of $50,000, especially when adorned with strong luster, full strikes, and minimal marks. Collectors adore the 1881 double C for its relative availability compared to some earlier double C issues, yet its low mintage keeps it firmly in semi-key date territory. Another intriguing aspect of the 1881 series is the occasional appearance of proof-like and deep mirror proof-like DMPL surfaces. These coins, struck from fresh dies, exhibit mirror-like fields and frosty devices, adding a dramatic visual appeal that collectors find irresistible. Securing an 1881 double C in DMPL MS65 or higher can easily cost upwards of $70,000 at elite auctions, solidifying its place among the ultimate trophies of the Morgan dollar world. Throughout the 1877 to 1881 period, the silver dollar served as more than just a medium of exchange. It was a statement of American identity and economic ambition. The United States, in the midst of Reconstruction and rapid westward expansion, needed a robust monetary system that could support domestic growth while asserting itself on the world stage. The trade dollar and the Morgan dollar together represent two sides of that ambition, one aimed outward toward Asia, the other inward toward solidifying national unity and prosperity. Today, collectors and investors alike treasure these coins not just for their intrinsic silver value, but for their historical significance, artistic beauty, and investment potential. Even in fine condition, each of these coins carries a story worth telling and a value that continues to rise as the number of surviving examples dwindles. With the booming popularity of vintage American coinage, key dates, major varieties, and dramatic eras are achieving unprecedented auction results, bringing financial rewards as well as historical satisfaction to those fortunate enough to own them. For any collector aspiring to build a set from 1877 to 1881, patience, study, and a keen eye are essential. Counterfeits exist, especially for high-value pieces like the 1879 CC and 1880 CC Morgan dollars, making authentication by reputable grading companies critical. Fine condition coins offer a balance between affordability and historical connection, allowing enthusiasts to appreciate the details of these classic designs while still participating in one of the most exciting segments of the numismatic market. Every scratch, every worn star, and every faint detail is a testament to the hands that passed these coins from pocket to pocket during an era of growth, hardship, and hope. The second coin. In the realm of American numismatics, few coins have stirred as much conversation, curiosity, and controversy as the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar. Released with much fanfare and ambition, the 1979 $1 coin was the United States Mint's bold attempt to modernize the nation's coinage and introduce a convenient small-size dollar for everyday use. Struck primarily in copper-nickel clad, much like the contemporary quarters and half dollars of the era, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was intended to replace the bulky Eisenhower dollar and encourage greater public adoption of dollar coins in commerce. However, what began as a hopeful venture into practicality soon became one of the most misunderstood and maligned coins in American history. Despite its widespread production, the 1979 $1 coin remains an essential chapter in U.S. coin collecting, and certain rare varieties and mint eras from this inaugural year have achieved impressive market values, sometimes skyrocketing to between $50,000 and $70,000 at high-profile auctions. The obverse of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar features a groundbreaking design by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. It boldly showcases the profile of Susan B. Anthony, the famous 19th century suffragist and advocate for women's rights, making her the first real woman ever to be depicted on circulating U.S. coinage. Surrounding her portrait are 13 stars representing the original colonies and inscriptions of liberty and the date 1979. Gasparo's reverse design is adapted from the Apollo 11 mission insignia previously used on the Eisenhower dollar, depicting an American bald eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its talons, a powerful symbol of peace through strength and technological achievement. While noble in intention and rich in symbolism, the coin's small size and its unfortunate resemblance to the quarter in both diameter and edge reading led to widespread public confusion. Many Americans simply refused to use the new dollar coin, dooming it to vending machines, banks, and collector albums rather than everyday wallets. Despite its commercial struggles, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar offers numismatists a rich field of exploration due to its varieties, mint marks, and eras. Production took place at 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. Philadelphia struck approximately 360 million coins, Denver about 288 million, and San Francisco, which also struck proops, produced roughly 109 million business strike coins. Among these, the Philadelphia issues are perhaps the most famous for a critical and collectible variety. The 1979 P-wide rim, also known as the near date. On these coins, the date appears much closer to the rim than on standard examples, creating a bolder, more substantial look. This wide rim variety is scarce and highly sought after. In fine condition, a 1979 P wide rim coin typically fetches around $30 to $50, but specimens in top grades, especially those certified MS67 or MS68 by PCGS or NGC, have sold for staggering amounts, up to $17,000. And a few ultra-high-grade examples have crossed into the $50,000 range when offered in elite auctions, especially when combined with exceptional toning or deep cameo appearances. Another important feature of the 1979 $1 series is the distinction between the proof coin types struck at the San Francisco Mint. The 1979 S-proof dollars come in two varieties, Type 1 with a blobby, filled S mint mark, and Type 2 with a clearer, sharper S mint mark. The Type 2 variety is significantly scarcer and commands a substantial premium, a 1979 S-proof. Type 2 dollar-graded PR70D CAM Deep Cameo can fetch well over $10,000 at auction, and top-end examples with exceptional eye appeal have touched prices close to the $50,000 mark. Identifying these varieties requires close examination, and specialists value precision in attribution, especially in higher-graded coins. Mint errors are another exciting frontier for collectors. Off-center strikes, double strikes, and even dramatic misalignments exist for the 1979 $1 coin. Such errors can command hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on severity and eye appeal. A spectacular off-center 1979 S. Susan B. Anthony error, for instance, once hammered for over $15,000 at a major auction, proving that even a misunderstood series can yield treasures for the discerning eye. It's also important to recognize that many Susan B. Anthony dollars in circulation show considerable wear due to their use in transit systems, vending machines, and postal services. In fine condition, most 1979 issues are relatively common and trade near face value to a few dollars. Yet even among circulated coins, demand remains strong for wide rim examples, early die state strikes, or coins displaying attractive original toning. For numismatists and investors, building a full set of Susan B. Anthony dollars, including all key varieties, represents an affordable and rewarding challenge with the potential for serious financial upside when cherry-picking the finest examples or rare varieties. In the grander scope of numismatic history, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar stands as a bold, albeit flawed, experiment in American coinage. It represents a pivotal shift in the nation's approach to practical money, a shift that was arguably ahead of its time. Public acceptance lagged far behind government intention, yet the coin's enduring legacy has grown over the decades. Today, the Susan B. Anthony dollar is recognized for its historical significance, its pioneering portrayal of a real woman on circulating currency, and its complex field of collectible varieties and errors. High-grade examples, rare varieties, and dramatic mint errors continue to attract strong interest, achieving auction results that far exceed their humble beginnings. For collectors, the 1979 $1 coin is no longer just a relic of a failed experiment. It's a vibrant chapter of American numismatic history, filled with opportunity, excitement, and the enduring spirit of discovery. Would you also like me to prepare a quick, natural outro you can use to link these two coins into one smooth video post for NT Coins World? Something like a 30-second wrap-up connecting historic silver giants, $1877 to $1881, and the modern copper-nickel pioneer, $1979. It would sound super professional.